Hello and welcome to the Baseball Junkies podcast. We're in season 2, episode 9. I'm your host, Adrian from A League of Our Own on YouTube.
And I'm your boy, Mr. Enfuego, also from YouTube.
Thank you guys so much for joining us again this week on this podcast. We like to bring you weekly MLB baseball news and also baseball card hobby news. We focus just on baseball. We've got a lot of good, interesting stories for you this week. Did you have a good week, Mr. Enfuego? How's it going?
We had an awesome week. I'm not even gonna lie, but the icing on the cake is being here.
Awesome. Right back at you. I know we both had some nice additions to our PC this week.
Yes, we did.
Looking forward to talking about a little bit later, but we're going to start off saying honoring Lou Gehrig. Yesterday was Lou Gehrig Day. June 2nd is, a Remembrance Day in baseball for Lou Gehrig. He was just an amazing baseball player, arguably the best hitting first baseman in MLB ever. There are some other greats, but looking at his statistics, they don't lie. Not let alone his World Series statistics. His World Series statistics just blow my mind. He played in 8 World Series. He's an 8-time World Series champ. His average in the World Series games, he had 119 at bats. He batted .361, 10 homers. Some other statistics he's a 7-time All-Star. He was a 1936 AL MVP, 1934 Triple Crown winner. I also wanted to bring up 1938. Now, 1939 was his last year. He didn't play the entire year. That's when he gave his famous speech, took himself out of the game after probably his most well-known statistic, the 2,130 consecutive games played that wouldn't be touched or broken until the 90s with Cal Ripken Jr. But 1938, so he's sick. He doesn't quite know what's going on yet. He knows something's wrong, but he's sick, doesn't know what it is yet. So it's his final full year. He bats an average of .295 with 29 home runs, 114 RBIs, 115 runs, a .410 on-base percentage, and a .523 slugging percentage. I mean, just blows my mind what Lou Gehrig did. These statistics are insane. And you guys also may or may not remember the speech that he gave. We wanted to show a short clip of that today to honor Lou Gehrig. I'm going to share it with you guys. For those of you that are watching with us on YouTube, you'll be able to see the video. For those of you listening to the podcast, you'll be able to hear him speak. It's pretty emotional speech that he gives. Let me go ahead and share that with you.
Just a quick disclaimer. This video is actual footage from the day of that speech, so it's a little choppy.
And a fatal disease attacked baseball's Iron Man. In Yankee Stadium, touched to tears by the tribute, Gehrig made his last public appearance.
For the past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
All right, guys, I'm cutting that a little bit short.
Difficulty.
Because I think with me live streaming and trying to show it at the same time, it's cutting out. But as you can see, a very emotional speech. I've watched that before, and it's like just talking about having a bad break. He always referred to it as a bad break. And, ALS is absolutely no joke. Wanted to also mention, let's see if I've got it here. There was a young lady that is Sarah Lang that is bringing her love back for baseball on Lou Gehrig Day. The Mets show her some love. About an hour and a half before she was scheduled to take the field for a ceremony Friday on City Field, Sarah Lane spent the better part of her afternoon being feted by the Mets, who hosted her and her family in recognition of Lou Gehrig Day. But there was a problem. Shohei Ohtani was slated to start for the Angels in Houston exactly when Lang was due to be in Citi Field. Stands watching the Mets. Lang and the MLB.com writer and researcher, longtime student, had never missed any of Ohtani's previous 74 starts. She was debating bringing her laptop to her seat. That is a typical Langs, whose favorite phrase, baseball is the best, has become so well known from the company RotoWear to a t-shirt, sold it in a bulk and raised more than $57,000 for Project ALS. So she had a company make the shirt, and she raising money for ALS, and it did really well. The Mets honored her in this game. She was worried about doing the ceremony about missing a Shohei Ohtani debut. So I mean, doesn't get any better than that for the love of baseball. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, I'll quickly try and share this with you here on YouTube.
Now, mind you, this young lady is also suffering from ALS as well.
Yes, and I'll just share this with you here. The link will be in the description. It will also be on our new website. If you guys want to check this out, maybe check out one of those shirts. I'll show you here. It says baseball is the best. They're using the profits to go towards ALS research. So pretty cool. All right, moving on.
I mean, what better way of ending a career despite the circumstances than being inducted into Cooperstown in 1939? So
absolutely. All right, moving on to some crazy news here. We just spoke briefly about Shohei Ohtani, but there's nothing ever brief about Shohei Ohtani,
and there's nothing new.
Well, it depends on who you are. I mean, seeing a guy that's both pitching and hitting do these things, that's kind of new. It's kind of super interesting. We keep waiting for one thing to go, like the pitching to go downhill or the batting to go downhill, and it just doesn't. Pat, last Saturday when Shohei Ohtani pitched, he had another 10 strikeout game, being his 14th game this year with 10 or more strikeouts. Insane for just a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Wednesday, he plays in the game. He hits 2 home runs in the game, both bombs well over 400 feet. Just
adios pelota.
I mean, this guy is just not human. He's insane. His statistics so far have got a 2.7 WAR, 221 at bats, 58 hits, 15 home runs, a 262 batting average, 38 RBIs, 7 stolen bases. One guy's doing this. He's pitching, he's hitting, he's killing it. Giving your boy Aaron Judge a strong run for his money for that AL MVP.
Now, isn't there a little thing about him and Trout doing great things as a dynamic duo?
Always. I know I believe in that same game where he hit the 2 home runs. Trout also hit home run. They did back to back, and it was also another tank over 400 feet.
And I think between all those home runs, it totaled a little over 1,500 feet.
Oh, that's right. I saw that statistic thrown out, I believe, on Fuzzy's channel, talking about in that game, total number of feet combined for their 3 home runs total, 2 for Ohtani, 1 for Trout, over 115 feet of home run goodness. You can't make that up. Can't write that in the storybooks. Just saying. So, what are we going to do? All right, Tatis. How about Fernando Tatis Jr. just continuing to give those hecklers, give it right back to him, I should say. I think it was the Yankees earlier this week. The Yankees had a couple of tough games against the Padres there.
Sure did.
And I think after a little heckling in that one, Tatis blasted a home run in that game. So Tatis is still doing Tatis things. I'm curious what our listeners like. Let me know what you think about Tatis. Like the whole ringworm thing, the whole PEDs thing. Is he garbage now? Do you not like him anymore because of this? Is he done? I mean, the PEDs things, no chance ever of being a Hall of Famer. I mean, every time I
For
watch
those
him,
of you who collected him, the value is going back up.
yes. I mean, shoot, you guys know Fernando before the PED thing, Fernando Tatis Jr. cards were in that kind of untouchable range for the casual collector. PEDs happened, all of his stuff tanks pretty good. And now that he's back and he's on the rise playing ball well, those prices are starting to rise back up. But what do you guys think? I mean,
just looking at his numbers, he's only played in maybe about 40 games. We're looking at a 1.8 WAR, 158 at bats, 40 hits, 9 home runs, and he's already batting 253. He's doing better than most guys that have been there since opening day.
I'm just saying the Avengers got a little bit better when Tatis got back.
Yes, and speaking of better, we'll get to that later on in the segment.
Oh, I almost want to talk about it right now that you said that.
No.
You want to say that one? Okay.
We'll let
we got
that
more
one
Padre
marinate.
news.
We'll
coming
let
up
that
shortly.
marinate.
All right. So how about Shane Biebs, former Cy Young Award winner, having he's having a good season, but he's not great, not doing great things at the moment with the Guardians. Are those trade rumors starting to turn into something a little bit more feasible? It's kind of sounding like, due to different sources, and Jeff Pawson from the MLB, tweeted some things and put some things out. It's sounding like by August 1st, the Guardians are going to be considering trading Bieber. They've got other pitchers, Tristan McKenzie, all that coming back in. They've got a lot of good pitching in the rotation or future prospects for the pitching. Are they going to try to, make a payday out of Shane Bieber, get some other good ball players or things of that nature? What do you guys think? I feel like looking at the Guardians past, like with Mike Clevenger, Trevor Bauer, great pitchers at the time, they got traded right in their prime to, teams to maximize on money. The Guardians have done a little bit better on keeping some players and doing things. They got lucky with Jose Ramirez, because Jose Ramirez, great third baseman, did give them a city discount. Jose Ramirez should have got way more money than he did, but he wanted to stay in Cleveland. So you had that going there.
I don't understand. And it's not just with the Guardians, but since we're talking about the Guardians, we're talking about a player who is not having another Cy Young season like before, but he's not having a bad season. Just looking at a brief snapshot of what he's done so far, he's got a 1.2 WAR. He's 4-3 with a 3.72 ERA. In my opinion, that's about average, give or take, with maybe a game or two slump. But if the Guardians feel that they want to move on from Bieber and pick up on some prospects or some other pitchers, by all means, because there's a whole bunch of teams out there that would be glad to pick up on his services. And I can name 3: Yankees, A's, and potentially the Red Sox. Okay.
100%.
So, if y'all want to get rid of him, you may want to seriously reconsider.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be interesting to see. Got a lot of cool things coming up here. Next month we got the All-Star game. Currently, All-Star voting is going down in a little bit here. Mr. Enfuego and I are going to give you our take on the All-Star game. We'll do a little ballot and stuff on here. During All-Star week, that's when the MLB draft is going on this year. We got some stuff on that coming up. We did have Royce Lewis return this past week. Just slammed a homer, his first home run back, no big deal. So we wanted to bring this up because, first of all, that's super cool. Royce Lewis has had, tough go. He came up rookie year. He's in that 2022 Topps updates at one of the rookies.
He's a sophomore right now.
Yeah, one of those rookies that we were all collecting and high on. Then he gets hurt and doesn't, he kind of goes down in the market, the whole baseball card thing. People weren't too hot on his cards anymore. Now he's back and things are looking good. So, when he comes back, and I'm reading from MLB.com, Lewis glided towards third base following his dramatic game-tying homer in the 8th inning of the Twins' 7-6 walk-off win over the Guardians Thursday. So he was a huge part of the game that he returned in, and so that was freaking awesome, and I'm pretty stoked. I didn't give up on Royce Lewis. I've kept a bunch of his rookie cards, so I'm pretty excited to see what he continues to do, and I hope that he continues to stay healthy and do well. Those are my thoughts. What are you thinking of Royce Lewis there, boss?
Same thing, It's like when the kid came up, rookie year, he was lights out. He gets hurt. Okay, people started turning their back away, which is the norm, I mean, especially those that, invest a hefty chunk of change in these players. They get hurt or they have a slump. They turn their backs on these players. Values go down. But when they come back, dropping haymakers, they want to go back into those 5,000 count boxes of cards that they have of nothing but base and everything. Pull them back out. Consider slabbing them, because now he's starting to pick up where he left off. So I mean, I wish nothing but great things for the kid. A lot of potential.
Yeah, me too. All right, guys. How about some statistics, some standings? Pretty cool this week. The D-backs gain a share in the NL West lead with a walk-off sweep. They currently tied for first place in the National League West with the Dodgers. We have been talking about watch out for the Diamondbacks, where I watch out for them. They're going to be a good team. I don't know if I was expecting them to do this, before the first half of the season. So currently we got the Diamondbacks and the Los Angeles Dodgers, 35 wins, 23 losses in that NL West. Pretty insane. And there's kind of a gap there with the Giants, Padres, and Colorado Rockies, and the rest of that. They're leading by a good bit there. That San Francisco Giants follow them with 28 wins. That's quite a gap there.
All I'm hearing are the lower tier teams making the marketable juggernaut of baseball look pretty bad.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of young freaking awesome stars on that Arizona Diamondback, and then you got Zach. I dig the Diamondback, so I'm happy for them. All right, NL Central, we got the Brew Crew leading 31-27, followed closely by the Pittsburgh Pirates. More surprises there. They're 30-27,
and they're still without O'Neal Cruz.
Yes, for me personally. I told you guys last week, I'm just throwing this out there. I would hold on to your O'Neal Cruzes, or if you're looking for like a cheap card, like his prices are dropping, but I feel O'Neal Cruz is good, and he had a bad break, literally, well, no pun intended there. And
the good news about it is he's halfway into his rehab, so we should see him before the All-Star game.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying he wasn't going to be back this year, so just saying. All right, leading off big time here for the National League East, we got the unbelievable Atlanta Braves with Ronald Acuna just leading that team to greatness. A lot of other great players on that team. They're 33-24, followed by the Miami Marlins, 31-28. The New York Mets are in third place. Man, I'm thinking about all that money spent with that team, or money they tried to spend, but still a lot of money spent and
nothing to show for it, really.
Yeah, it's not, it's been a Mets kind of season. It's been kind of rough. For the AL Central, we've got the Minnesota Twins 31-27, followed by the Detroit Tigers, another team that we're not expecting to see in second or first place, but there is quite a gap there. They are 26-30, but still, nonetheless, we got the crazy Tampa Bay Rays 40-19 in the AL East.
First team to do it.
Yeah. The Baltimore Orioles following 36-21 with the Yankees behind them 34-25. That's just the toughest division there. I look at those teams and that's crazy.
The beast of the East.
Yes. And then finishing it off with the American League West, the Texas Rangers are still just freaking plowing teams down. They're 37-20, followed by the Houston Astros that are 35-23.
Where did this Rangers team come from?
Yes.
All they added were 2 pitchers, 2 starters, and they're in second place, and they're in first place in their division. I mean, what happened?
I'm guessing that head coach Bruce Roshi, man, he's
doing.
He's got superhuman powers. It's crazy. I'm looking at these statistics and I'm going down and like Texas Rangers, Baltimore Orioles, Detroit Tigers, like these teams we're not expected to be here at this point. So it's super cool to see these underdogs coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, producing the way they are. All right. So with the MLB standings where they are, we're also looking at injuries and roster moves. We got Jordan Walker called back up to the Cardinals this past week due to Lars Nootbaar going on the IL list. Jordan Walker's this crazy good prospect. If you guys don't remember, he did start off opening day. He did get put back down. We're thinking like a little bit of like contract, manipulation there maybe, but because he's just a beast, he's come back. He's doing great things on the Cardinals. We got some like weird stuff going. I know we were going to go more in depth in this, but I am going to start off. Aaron Hicks did get picked up by the Baltimore Orioles. Last week we touched on Gary Sanchez going to the Padres. We've got Riley Green going on the injured list for the Tigers. Steven Strasburg going on the injured list for the Nats.
Yeah, and you got Chris Sale on the IL.
Chris Sale, yeah. I was watching the last game he pitched the other day, and they were talking about there's something going on with him. Earlier in the week, he had like a stomach bug or something like that. He didn't play, but now
he's going on the injured IL list for a shoulder inflammation.
Yeah, so I don't, and then the surprising one you told me about today, Hunter Dozier got dropped by the Royals.
Quite a few people got DFA'd.
Yeah.
Hunter, I would not expect for him to have gotten the pink slip the way he did.
Yeah, I know Hunter Dozier's not having the best season, but in previous years, he's been a pretty solid ball player. So
real big contributor.
I guess I'm not sure what's going on there. Luke Voigt, same also. Yep. And Eric Hosmer. I mean, these names, I know they're not like superstars or anything, but they decent ball players there. Luke Voigt, not a couple seasons ago.
He was the 2020 home run leader.
Yeah, it just
I mean, granted, it was only a half season, but
yeah,
he did his thing during that season.
Yeah. I think the biggest news we wanted to talk about in this roster moves and such is the Padres. Ready to talk about this one now? Padres signing a 16-year-old.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hope this kid got a parent's permission slip to play baseball with the big boys.
Yeah. Max. Oh, let me get this guy's name. A 16-year-old, because I'm not sure what Bowman set he's going to come out in. That's a card I'm going to go for, because he was even younger than Jason Dominguez getting signed
and got a bigger contract.
Yeah. Oh, 5.6 mil.
So the kid is Ethan Salas.
And
he was signed under a international contract for $5.6 million, which broke the record initially set by Jason Dominguez, who was signed for $5.1 million.
Could you imagine being 16 years old? You get to go play baseball.
What are you going to do with $5.5 million as a 16-year-old?
Hopefully you make good choices. Hopefully you got a good support system.
You get a PS5.
Yeah. Awesome. So I'm super excited to watch this guy's future because whenever you sign somebody that young, they've got to be producing, playing so good that
his debut, he left the mark. Granted, It was one hit, but it was a pretty decent hit.
Double. He got a double, did he not? Yeah.
Yep.
Not too shabby. Definitely check him out. What was his name again? Ethan.
His name is Ethan Salas.
Ethan Salas. I got that on my list to keep an eye out for his cards in the future when those come out. So just talking about that. But we did want to talk about kind of something little interesting twists here in the roster moves and stuff having to do with Aaron Hicks, Joey Gallo, Gary Sanchez. What do they all have in common?
So, okay. I've been crashing my brain on this, and I've come to the conclusion it's kind of like how everybody looks at the Oakland A's as the major league minor system. You know, they mold players, then once they're at their peak, they push them out to other players. I think that's the same concept with the Yankees. So let's start with Joey Gallo. When we picked up his contract, he left Texas with about 32 to 34 home runs. Everybody in the Bronx was fully expecting for him to probably double that because at the time, everybody thought Joey Gallo was a big bat. Not so much. Okay. His first season in pinstripes, he only tacked on about another 4 more home runs to his already 32 to 34. His season after that, completely atrocious. Okay. So the end of the day, we gave him the pink slip. He moved on to the Dodgers. Okay. Didn't do so well over there. He moved on from there. And I think he's with the Twins, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, complete 180. He's doing great where he's at. I mean, right now he's on the IL list, but prior to that, he was doing great things. Another name, Gary Sanchez. We picked his contract up 2018. Fastest player in Yankee history to hit 20 home runs. After that season, went downhill. Moved on from him. Got picked up by the Twins. He was okay. They let him go. Was sent down. Mets picked him up and basically sent him back down for a total of 6 days and some change. San Diego picks him up. First game as a Padre, he sends one to the bleachers. Okay. Then you got Aaron Hicks. We signed him on an extension, and if he would have still not been playing, the Yankees right now, this season, we still owe him $10 million with another $20 million next season. He gets picked up by the Orioles. First game, he went 2 for 2 with a double and a regular base hit. So this tells me that those players who can't hack it in the Bronx because the fans, and it's not just the Yankees. You know, you've got a lot of teams the fans are passionate about their teams. If you are not performing to the standard that they know you can perform, you will get called out on it. And it's up to you if you're going to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, get right, or tuck your tail between your legs, talk to your manager and say you don't want to go, you don't want to play no more, you want to go home, or whatever the case may be. So it seems like with those three gentlemen, they're doing okay in their current teams, and the Bronx wasn't for them. That's basically what it boils down to.
I'm looking at some of these comments, and I feel like I hear what you're saying, but I do like Lock-In 99 saying it's a toxic environment. I feel like this seems really prevalent with the New York Yankees, and I know you go to other passionate ballparks, passionate
I'll throw
fan
some other
bases.
teams at you, Larkin. You have the Atlanta Braves. You have the Philadelphia Phillies. You have the Boston Red Sox. You have, as weird as it sounds, the Miami Marlins. They are very passionate about their ball clubs. Okay, so I mean, I don't think it's a toxic environment. It's just pure passion.
I start to wonder. You get the pure passion in the ballpark when things are going on. I know I've been to other ballparks. Somebody's not playing well, they're getting booed. But I think when you're in New York, it doesn't leave. Like when you leave the ballpark, you're still getting taunted, all that stuff. I feel like when you're in these like Atlanta, Philadelphia and stuff, when you leave the ballpark and you go about your life there, it's not as harsh as it is in New York. It's what it appears to be to me. I could be wrong, but it is kind of crazy how these players go. The good ball players go to New York. They're crappy ball players. They leave. They go to other ballparks. They're good again.
I mean, because you've got players that are still on the roster, or some players that retired, did not have the greatest of careers with the Yankees. Yeah, the fans bashed them. They picked themselves up and drove on. You know, Alex Rodriguez being the biggest one. Then there's
some people that can hack it, and there's some not. I agree with
hack it, but I don't think anybody has received a tongue lashing as bad as A-Rod.
He's still getting it.
Not as bad though. He's starting to become.
People are starting to like him.
He's starting to become a loved personality. But at the end of the day, Gary Sanchez, Aaron Hicks, Joey Gallo, coming from a Yankee fan, you know, the Bronx wasn't for you. Hopefully, your careers get picked up and turn around for the better with your new homes and organizations. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, and I'll just say, I think you play in New York, you need to have thick skin.
Yes, you do.
Got to have thick skin. So, I wanted to also bring up here. We're gonna get into that whole MLB All-Star voting here pretty soon, but I also wanted to bring up last week baseball card trivia. Our winner, Adam's Card Closet. Be sure to check him out. He is in the chats tonight. Give him a follow and congratulations to him.
Congrats, Adam.
Got him posted all up on the Baseball Junkies podcast website. Be sure to go check that out when you guys have time. You can give us a review on there. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you think and what's going on. We're going to get to the MLB trivia of the week here shortly, but I think I'm ready to do some voting.
Well, before we do some voting, let's go back in time a little bit.
All right.
Let's find out what happened today in baseball history.
Oh, yes. Let's.
So, on June 3rd of 1925, White Sox manager Eddie Collins makes hit number 3,000 against Detroit. Okay. Then in 1932, going back to the Iron Horse, he hits 4 consecutive home runs and narrowly misses a 5th in a Yankees-Oakland A's slugfest, which was won by New York for a total score of 20-13. Then you have in 1989, Nolan Ryan pitched his second one-hitter during that season and totaled 11th overall, allowing only a first-inning single to a Harold Reynolds in a 6-1 win over Seattle. And then lastly, in 1995, the Expos pitcher Pedro Martinez, he went perfect for a full 9 innings. Okay. Full 9 innings against San Diego, but he loses his no-hitter when Bip Roberts doubles to lead off the 10th inning, which because of that, Montreal eventually comes away with the 1-0 win. So he had the perfect game without having the perfect game.
Dang. How about that day in history for you guys? All right, Battle. You ready to do some
I'm
All-Star
ready to
voting.
vote. I'm ready to see what people got to say about the
Let's
votes
see
we
what
did.
we got here. I'm gonna throw this up on the screen, and for those of you listening, we'll try to broadcast this out to you as best as we can here. Hopefully this runs okay for me. We're starting off. We got the All-Star ballot for 2023, which, by the way, I will be at the All-Star game this year, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully post some kind of a vlog of some sort on my YouTube channel. So we're starting off with first base here. Looking down this list, we'll start with the American League. The options are Jose Abreu for the Houston Astros, Tristan Casas, Boston Red Sox, Yandy Diaz for the Rays, Ty France for the Mariners, Joey Gallo for the Twins, Vladdy for the Jays. We got Nathaniel Lau for the Rangers, Ryan Mountcastle for the O's, Josh Naylor for the Guardians, Ryan Nada for my A's, Vinny Pasquantino for the Royals, Anthony Rizzo for the New York Yankees, Spencer Torkelson for the Tigers, Andrew Vaughn for the White Sox, and Jared Walsh for the Angels. This is an easy pick for me. I'll just go ahead and just click right there. That's who I'm picking for that. What do you got, Mr. Enfuego? I got Vlad.
My first baseman for the All-Star game, none other than Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo, big surprise. You picked the Yankees and I picked the Blue Jays. Big surprise. Did everybody see that coming? You all know that I'm a big Oakland A's fan. That's my team, but I've got the Blue Jays kind of as my secondary team. I'm looking right here, 285 average, 8 home runs, 36 ribs, 803 OPS. That's just a little statistics they've got there for Vladdy. Down here for Rizzo, batting 300 with 11 homers, 32 RBIs, 865 OPS. You got a good, strong argument there. I'll give you that. Anthony Rizzo's playing great. Looking at this list, he would definitely, in my opinion, be my second pick for sure. And I'm looking at the statistics. He probably should be my first, but I guess I'm just one of those.
You're just biased. That's all.
Fans that's being biased. So over here in the National League, Pete Alonso for the Mets, Cody Clemens for the Phillies, Garrett Cooper for the Marlins, CJ Cron for the Rockies, Jake Cronenworth for the Padres, Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers, Paul Goldschmidt for the Cardinals, Trey Mancini for the Cubs, Matt Olson for the Braves, Carlos Santana for the Pirates, Dominic Smith for the Nationals, Spencer Steer for the Reds, Rowdy Tellez for the Brew Crew, Lamont Wade Jr. for the Giants, Christian Walker for the D-backs. This is another easy one. Might be surprising, but for me, the easy pick on this, looking at statistics and what have you, is Freddie Freeman for the Dodgers. I'm going to click off of that so you can still see him if you need to, Mr. Enfuego.
I got my votes already locked in.
What's your vote?
I also went Freddie Freeman.
All right. Easy peasy parcheesi on that one. Freddie Freeman's playing good. There's a lot of other good players there, but Freddie Freeman, statistic-wise,
I mean,
above and beyond everybody there.
You would think people would go with Pete Alonso because he leads the league in home runs.
Mm-hmm.
More to it than home runs.
Absolutely. Pete Alonso, love Pete Alonso. A lot of home runs, a lot of strikeouts as well. We've got up for second base, American League, Jose Altuve for the Astros, Elvis Andrus for the White Sox, Christian Arroyo for the Red Sox, Jose Calabrero for the Mariners, Brandon Drury for the Angels, Adam Frazier for the O's, Andres Jimenez for the Guardians, Tony Kemp for the A's. We got Brandon Lowe for the Rays, Michael Massey for the Royals, Zach McKinstry for the Tigers, Whit Merrifield for the Jays, Jorge Polanco for the Twins, Marcus Semien for the Tigers, Gleyber Torres for the Yankees. Let's see. I'm not doing it. I'm not picking Jose Altuve. No. As I look down this list, I look at statistics. Ooh, I'm thinking Marcus Semien. he's having a good year. Look at that 304 average. What you got?
Well, since you went with Marcus Semien and currently he's on the IL,
Ooh,
I went with Gleyber Torres because his season's just getting warmed up.
Gleyber Torres is garbage right now. Are you serious? Are you serious right now?
Look at his stats.
Gladly. He is got a 265, 9
Okay.
home runs,
Mm-hmm.
25
ribbies with
ribbies, 773.
a
So
OPS.
right
As-
above Marcus Semien here, you got Jorge Polanco. The only thing he doesn't have as much of is the home runs there.
And I'm also looking at overall defense too.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I don't know. Gleyber Torres has definitely gotten better than previous years, but I'm not feeling. There's 4 or 5 guys on here I would pick before him. I would pick Jose Altuve before him. Just saying.
Got to meet a height requirement.
I love you, Battle, but let's go to the National League. We got Ozzy Albies for the Braves, Luis Urias for the Marlins, Jai Juan Bay for the Pirates, Harold Castro for the Rockies, Daryl Estrada for the Giants, Luis Garcia for the Nats, Nolan Gorman for the Cards, Nico Horner for the Cubs, Jonathan India for the Reds, Hassan Kim for the Padres, Ketel Marte for the Diamondbacks, Jeff McNeil for the Mets, Bryson Stott for the Phillies, Bryce Tureg for the Brew Crew, and Miguel Vargas for the Dodgers. I think these top 2 here, Ozzy Albies and Luis Urias, are without a doubt the only 2 that should be considered. And gosh, I mean, here, look at the difference. So Luis Urias, he gets up to bat, he's hitting the ball. He's batting 390. He was batting 400 for quite a bit there. He's only got 1 homer. You got a 248 average with Ozzy, but 11 homers. He's got 36 RBIs, so more runs batted in. A 926 OPS for Luis Urias and 753 for the Braves. So, this is hard. I feel like I'm picking Luis Urias, and it's tough because I really like Ozzy Albies as well.
I kind of figured you was going to go with one of the top 2 that's on the list.
Yeah.
I decided to take a little trip to San Francisco and go with Thairo Estrada.
Is he? Yeah, Thairo Estrada. He's been doing good this year, but I just Luis Urias. I don't know the way he's just top second baseman right now in my mind. Just my thoughts. What do y'all think? Please shout out in the comments. Let us know on the Baseball Junkies podcast. Let us know. We're going to keep arguing and continuing on here with third base. We got in the American League, our options are Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros, Matt Chapman of the Toronto Blue Jays, Rafael Devers for the Red Sox, Kyle Farmer for the Twins, Miguel Garcia for the Royals, Josh Young for the Rangers, DJ LeMahieu for the Yankees, Nick Matten for the Tigers, Yohan Moncada for the White Sox, Isaac Paredes for the Rays, Jace Peterson for the A's, Jose Ramirez for the Guardians, Anthony Rendon for the Angels, Eugenio Suarez for the Mariners, and Ramon Urias for the O's. I have got Matt Chapman. All right, Matt Chapman is having an unbelievable year. I'm not picking him just because of his Toronto Blue Jays, and he used to be on the A's. Look at those statistics. Now, he has dipped down just a smidge, but I feel like he's just on fire this season. Those are my thoughts. I like Rafael Devers too, but
so I see your Matt Chapman, and I'm going to raise you a potential 2023 AL Rookie of the Year in Josh
Young. Yep. I'm not going to lie. He was high on my list too. I did have him in mind.
I mean, the kid,
it's tough.
His right now, his numbers are showing him as the front runner for Rookie of the Year, and they do show All-Star game potential.
Oh, yeah, he's got better statistics just slightly over Matt Chapman. I'm just taking experience. I guess I'm going with the experience with the veterans there. And I'm always biased on these, so what are you going to do? All right. Moving on for the National League third base, we got Brian Anderson for the Brew Crew, Nolan Arenado for the Cardinals, Brett Beatty for the Mets, Alec Baum for the Phillies, Amer Caladero for the Nats, JD Davis for the Giants, Brian Hayes for the Pirates, Manny Machado for the Padres, Ryan McMahon for the Rockies, Max Muncy for the Dodgers, Austin Riley for the Braves, Josh Rojas for the Diamondbacks, Juan Segura for the Marlins, Nick Senzel for the Reds, and Patrick Wisdom for the Cubs. When I initially went through this list, I'm thinking Max Muncy. I know he's just having a good year for the Dodgers, but I'm looking at his batting average. Yeah, he's got 18 homers. JD Davis, 9 homers, 282. That's not bad. Brett Beatty, Nolan Arenado, 10 homers. Shall I go for my home runs? Yeah, I feel like 42 ribbies. Nolan Arenado, 38 ribbies, 267. Might have the highest average here. JD Davis actually has the highest average, it looks like, on the Giants. Shoot. Yeah, let's get crazy. Let's go JD Davis for the San Francisco Giants with a 282 average, 9 homers, 30 ribbies, and an 849 OPS. Boss,
Okay.
what you got?
I'm going with Max Muncy and his bounce back season.
I like that. I had a hard time with that one. He is having a good season.
I mean,
Respect.
Granted, he's a 209 hitter, almost 20 home runs. He's already got 40 RBIs, and he's at 858 OPS. And he's only gonna get better.
I agree with you. I had a tough time selecting on that one. I'm not gonna have a tough time selecting in the next one. We're gonna go for a shortstop in the American League. We got Tim Anderson for the White Sox, Javier Baez for the Tigers. We got Bo Bichette for the Toronto Blue Jays, Carlos Correa for the Twins, JP Crawford for the Mariners, Adames Diaz for the A's, Wander Franco for the Rays, Enrique Hernandez for the Red Sox, Ori Mateo for the O's, Zach Neto for the Angels, Jeremy Pena for the Houston Astros, Ahmed Rosario for the Guardians, Corey Seager for the Rangers, Anthony Volpe for the Yanks, and Bobby Witt Jr. for the Royals. A lot of good names on this list.
Just rip the Band-Aid off. We know where you're going.
Bo Bichette, 100%. Best shortstop in the MLB right now. Go ahead. That is all.
If Disney had a team, yes, he would be the best on that league. But I'm going with Kid Wonder, Anthony Volpe.
Anthony, really?
And my argument is he has yet to be caught stealing bags. He is the top. He is one of 2 fastest players on the damn in the league. Okay, he comes in clutch. And he makes a great second leadoff hitter in the 9-hole.
Fair. I'm not gonna lie. Anthony Volpe is like my favorite rookie right now. I love him. I love the story. I love everything he's doing on the Yankees. But he's not. I mean, he's got a 189 average right now. I mean, compared to these other people.
He's a rookie.
So he needs some time before he can be an all-star. Just saying. Now you look at those Bo Bichette statistics there. Let me just look here. Yeah. Oh, he's got the most home runs. Oh, he's got the highest batting average. Okay. All right. I'll leave it at that. And don't give me any crap about his defense either, because his defense is improving greatly. I'm just saying, Bo Bichette
didn't show when they went up against the Yankees.
All right, for the National League. Moving on, we've got C.J. Abrams for the Washington Nationals. Willie Adames for the Brewers. Orlando Arcia for the Braves. John Birdie for the Marlins. Xander Bogaerts for the Padres. Rodolfo Castro for the Pirates. Brandon Crawford for the Giants. Paul DeLong for the Cardinals. Francisco Lindor for the Mets. Matt McLain for the Reds. Geronimo Perdomo for the Diamondbacks. Dansby Swanson for the Cubs. Chris Taylor for the Dodgers. Esquivel Tovar for the Rockies. And Trey Turner for the Phillies. Ooh. Now I'm feeling like voting for a rookie. Not going to lie. Yeah. I'm going for Matt McLain. I'm digging on this guy on the Reds.
Nice pick.
Rookie that just came up recently. I'm digging on him.
Not a bad pick.
What you got?
I'm going with Xander Bogaerts because he comes clutch when needed.
True that.
And so far, he's a perfect fit in San Diego. He's been doing great things over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers don't show it like they should, but
coming up clutch is an important thing. And he's on my list. I had Matt McLain. I've also got Dansby Swanson too. Dansby Swanson, I feel like comes up clutch. He's not the like greatest shortstop by any means, like Bo Bichette. I mean, but he's awesome. I like Dansby Swanson. So anyways, moving on. We've got catcher for the American League, Rays, Christian Bethancourt, Yasmani Grandal for the White Sox, Eric Haas for the Tigers, Jonah Heim for the for the Rangers, Alejandro Kirk for the Blue Jays, Shea Langoliers for the A's, Martin Maldonado for the Houston Astros, Salvador Perez for the Royals, Cal Riley for the Mariners, Adley Rutschman for the O's, Mike Thies for the Angels, Jose Trevino for the Yankees, Christian Vasquez for the Twins, Connor Wong for the Red Sox, and Mike Zunino for the Guardians. Ooh, I feel like I'm picking a rookie again after I said I wasn't going to pick rookies. But Jonah Heim has been good this year too. Just looking at these statistics. Yeah, I got to go Adley. I feel like he's a monster right now. What do you think?
This is the second time we actually come into an agreement because I also went with Adley.
Really? I feel like we agreed on once already. I'm surprised by that too.
Yep. Freddie Freeman and now Adley Rutschman.
I'll be awesome. All right, guys. So now National League, Francisco Alvarez for the Mets, Joey Bart for the Giants, William Contreras for the Brew Crew, Wilson Contreras for the Cardinals. Why they had to put their two names together like that? They couldn't split that up. You got to try to mess me up. Les Diaz for the Rockies, Yan Gomez for the Cubs, Austin Hedges for the Pirates, Gabriel Moreno for the D-backs. We got Sean Murph for the Braves, Austin Nola for the Padres, JT Realmuto for the Phillies, Keibert Ruiz for the Nats, Will Smith for the Dodgers, Jacob Stallings for the Marlins, and Tyler Stevenson for the Reds. Murph. I'm thinking Murphy for the Braves. Sean Murphy. Ooh, I keep doing that. I want to make sure you can see the list if you need to. Francisco Alvarez. I have a strong argument for Francisco Alvarez also, but I'm feeling like, I'm looking at the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm going with Sean Murphy.
You should have went with your first instinct. I too went with Francisco Alvarez.
Did you?
Yes, I did, because that kid is tearing it up in Queens.
He is tearing it up. I do like him. I like Sean Murphy too. I'm going back to my Oakland A's ties, like I did with Matt Chapman earlier for third base. So mad respect for Francisco Alvarez too. Definitely should be on the All-Star team.
Okay, also. Now let's see where your head is at picking your outfield, because you get to pick three.
I know this is my favorite. The outfielders here. We got Yordan Alvarez for the Houston Astros, Randy Arozarena for the Rays, Akil Baddoo for the Tigers, Harrison Bader for the Yankees, Andrew Benintendi for the White Sox, Will Brennan for the Guardians, Seth Brown for the A's, Oswaldo Cabrera for the Yankees, Esquivel Duran for the Rangers, Jared Duran for the Red Sox, Odolis Garcia for the Rangers, Riley Green for the Tigers, Austin Hayes for the O's, Teoscar Hernandez for the Mariners, Kyle Isabel for the Royals, Eloy Jimenez for the White Sox, Aaron Judge for the Yanks, Jared Kelenic for the Mariners, Max Kepler for the Twins, Kevin Kiermaier for the Blue Jays, Stephen Kwan for the Guardians, Trevor Larnach for the Twins, Ramon Laureano for the A's, Josh Lowe for the Rays, MJ Melendez for the Royals, Jake Myers for the Houston Astros, Cedric Mullins for the O's, Edward Olivares for the Royals, Hunter Renfroe for the Angels, Luis Robert for the White Sox, Julio for the Mariners, Esteury Ruiz for the A's, Anthony Santander for the O's, Jose Siri for the Rays, George Springer for the Blue Jays, Miles Straw for the Guardians, Leody Tavares for the Rangers, Michael A. Taylor for the Twins, Mike Trout for the Angels, Kyle Tucker for the Astros, Dalton Varsho for the Blue Jays, Alex Verdugo for the Red Sox, Matt Verling for the Twins, Taylor Ward for the Angels, and Masataka Yoshida for the Red Sox. I need to drink water after naming all of those names.
Drum roll, please.
All right. I am easily going up and picking Aaron Judge. I without a doubt know that that's one of your picks too. So don't even lie.
Don't judge me.
I wanted to start off with us with a piece, us agreeing.
Okay.
I'm glad I took the time to go through and read this list, because this gentleman right here, Adolis Garcia for the Rangers, he needs to be on the All-Star team this year. He's an animal. I know. I only get to pick 3. This sucks. There's a lot of good players. I'm not picking Julio. This year he's having a little sophomore slump. I feel like I probably should just pick my Trout, but I wanted to go a little. No, I'm picking Mike Trout. Never mind. I was thinking of Ruiz for my A's, who is arguably a contender for Rookie of the Year. But I decided to, I'm going to go with Mike Trout. Oh, I should have should I take that off of there? Because this Masataka Yoshida should be on there too. It's tough. What you got, Battle?
You got some good picks, okay? But I will give you, yes, I also picked Aaron Judge.
Cool.
I picked Yordan Alvarez because he's having a monster season.
Yeah.
And I'm also picked up, shocker, I went with Jared Kelenic.
Oh, really? He's having a comeback good season, but
this is a redemption season for him.
Yeah. Let me go back. Yeah. This was tough. You got to agree with me. This was tough to pick 3 from this list.
Now, mind you, again, I made these picks prior to Julio picking up his game again.
Yeah.
I could not pick Jared Kelenic.
Yeah. Where's he at on this list? I wanted to look at his. Oh, I passed him. I just want to look at his statistics currently. Where are you at, Jared? 275 average, 10 homers, 27 RBIs, 844 OPS. Yeah, I'm so glad he's doing good. That's something to also keep in mind, y'all, for Jared Kelenic dropped off and everybody was like, oh, his cards aren't worth anything. Pull your Jared Kelenics back out. They probably have gone up. Or if you're into Jared Kelenic, keep him for your PC. Just saying. All right, ready for the National League?
Yep.
All right. Ronald Acuna Jr. for the Braves. I'm just going to go ahead before I read any of these.
Just go ahead and take your picks. Take your picks. I got my picks already.
All right. We got Cody Bellinger for the Cubs. Mookie Betts for the Dodgers. I'm picking him too. So far, Ronald Acuna, Mookie Betts. We got Chris Bryant for the Rockies. Mark Canha for the Mets. Corbin Carroll for the Diamondbacks. That might be my next pick. Nick Castellanos for the Phillies. Jazz Chisholm Jr. for the Marlins. Michael Conforto for the Giants. Ooh, Brian De La Cruz for the Marlins. That's another possibility there. Corey Dickerson for the Nats, Brandon Donovan for the Cardinals, Tommy Edman for the Cardinals, Jake Fraley for the Reds, TJ Friedel for the Reds, Avisal Garcia for the
Avisal Garcia.
Marlins, Randall Grichuk for the Rockies, Trent Grisham for the Padres, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. for the Diamondbacks, Mitch Haniger for the Giants, Ian Happ for the Cubs, Michael Harris II for the Braves, Jason Hayward for the Dodgers, Connor Joe for the Pirates, Brandon Marsh for the Phillies, Starling Marte for the Mets, Will Myers for the Reds, Brandon Nemo for the Mets, Lars Nootbaar for the Cardinals, James Outman for the Dodgers, Marcell Ozuna for the Braves, Jurickson Profar for the Rockies. Oh, I didn't even know he was on the Rockies right now. That's interesting. Okay. Brian Reynolds for the Pirates, Victor Robles for the Nats, Kyle Schwarber for the Phillies, Pavin Smith for the Diamondbacks, Juan Soto for the Padres, Jack Splisinski for the Pirates, Seiya Suzuki for the Cubs, Fernando Tatis Jr. for the Padres, Tyrone Taylor for the Brew Crew, Lane Thomas for the Nats, Joey Weimer for the Brew Crew, Mike Yastrzemski for the Giants, and Christian Yelich for the Brewers. My last pick, Fernando Tatis Jr. Am I so predictable?
Yeah, very predictable.
What you got? Who did you pick?
I went with Ronald Acuna.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Corbin Carroll. And I also went with Fernando.
Okay. So we just did Corbin Carroll. You heard me. He was on my list. He's having a monster season. He's awesome. Look at these names. Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, and Fernando Tatis Jr., man. I mean, strong argument. I could put Corbin Carroll where Mookie Betts. Yeah. No, I would put him instead of Fernando Tatis Jr., I guess. Just looking by statistics and stuff. But Corbin Carroll, he's having a monster season on the D-backs. No lie. All right, we still got DH. Is this our last pick?
Last
pick. All right, designated hitter. Josh Bell for the Guardians. Brandon Belt for the Blue Jays. Jake Berger for the White Sox. Byron Buxton for the Twins. Miggy for the Tigers. Robbie Grossman for the Rangers. Gunnar Henderson for the O's. Corey Julks for the Astros. Shohei Ohtani. AJ Pollock for the Mariners. Nick Prado for the Royals. Harold Ramirez for the Rays. Brent Rooker for the A's. Giancarlo Stanton for the Yankees. And Justin Turner for the Red Sox. Shohei Ohtani. Easy pick for me. Duh.
Same here. I went with Shohei.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I know that was hard for you.
It really was.
I know.
It really was. Because I was hell-bent on going with Stanton.
I thought for sure you were going to say Stanton. I really did. And you're not usually the biased one. I'm the one that's usually more biased.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when I see talent, I'll give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm very proud of you. All right. Moving on to the National League. We got Chuck Nasty, Charlie Blackmon for the Rockies, Alec Burleson for the Cards. We got Matt Carpenter for the Padres, Travis d'Arnaud for the Braves, Bryce Harper for the Phillies, Evan Longoria for the D-backs, JD Martinez for the Dodgers, Andrew McCutchen for the Pirates, Joey Menzies for the Nats, Christopher Morel for the Cubs, Jock Peterson for the Giants, Jorge Soler for the Marlins, Daniel Vogelback for the Mets, Joey Votto for the Reds, Jesse Winker for the Brew Crew. I have a tie up here in my mind with Bryce Harper and Charlie Blackmon. Just looking at their statistics. I like Christopher Morel, but he just doesn't have the statistics I'm looking for just yet. I think I'm going to go with Bryce Harper because I'm thinking about that coming up clutch thing you told me about earlier. I feel like Bryce Harper does that. So that's what I got.
Shocker. I went with Bryce Harper.
No freaking way. We had more in common on this list than I anticipated.
And I can share my screen with with everybody that's watching now, so you don't see, so you can all see I'm not pulling these picks out of my fourth point of contact. I did my picks on Thursday, and I saved it to a PowerPoint just for this occasion.
Let's do it. Where you got them at, Battle?
All right. So we're going to go here. We're going to present, share screen, window.
You guys, while Mr. Enfuego is bringing that up, I just want to let you know that next weekend, the Baseball Junkies podcast will not be airing. We're going to be off next week. I'm going to be out of town, but we'll be back the following week. And as soon as we got it. Here's Mr. Enfuego's list.
So you see, for first base, I got Rizzo. Second is Torres. Third, Jung. Shortstop, Volpe. My catcher is Rushman. Outfield, Alvarez, Judge, Kelenic. Designated hitter, Ohtani.
Nice.
National, Harper. Outfield is Tatis, Carroll, and Acuna. My catcher is Alvarez. Shortstop is Bogarts. Muncie's taking third. Estrada's on second. Freeman on first.
There it is. Write it down. Take a picture. We don't care. Ha. So that's what we got for the All-Star game. This podcast is extended version tonight, guys. We're going to throw up the trivia here now. Go ahead and read the trivia question. Put your answer in the comments if you are watching here on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast format, I'll say what the question is after, but the only way to win and be a part of this trivia question is through YouTube. We air this podcast live every Saturday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's get to some trivia. It's a good one tonight. Compliments of Mr. Enfuego and his mad editing skills. Here we go. All right. For those of you listening, the question was, who are the 4 Braves players that hit 30 homers and stole 30 bases all in one season? 4 Braves players that have done that. Let's see. I think, I'm looking in the comments. I'm thinking, was Kenny Weaver? Did he get those right? Murphy, Aaron, and Gant? I think Kenny Weaver got it.
We's confirming Acuna, Murphy, Aaron, and Gant. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Adam's card closet almost got it, but he got his favorite player.
Jordan.
Yeah. No, he picked originally he picked Chipper Jones. So congratulations to Kenny Weaver. Kenny Weaver wins. You guys check out Kenny Weaver, give him a like. We'll put him up on the podcast. We'll announce him next week during the podcast. Very cool. Congratulations. Super awesome. Guys, we got a little hobby news we want to get into. Quick follow-up on the Drew Jones 1 of 1. We did see a interview with the family that pulled the Drew 1-of-1 superfractor. They decided to go ahead and get the $250,000 from David Adams. David Adams came out to their card shop, the Best of Ohio in Dayton, Ohio. And it was a really cool like story, the whole situation. This family that pulled the 101 Drew Jones Superfractor Auto were on their way to a Reds games. They were opening packs in the card. The grandpa who just doing this with the family pulls it. It was in the last pack of the box, and he goes, "Is Drew Jones good?" And then the dad and grandson, everybody was freaking out. They still went. They had sleeves in the car, nothing else. They sleeved it up, put it back in the box. They still went to the Reds game. Never even occurred to them to not go to the game. It was the Reds versus the Yankees. They were disappointed. They were Reds fans. They were disappointed that the Yankees beat them. But they did decide to get the $250,000 bounty from David Adams. They each told their story about car collecting, and the coolest part for me was the grandpa was like, he was emotional. He was like, "This is something we do together as a family. I hope other people have experiences like this." Just awesome. So the $250,000 bounty was rewarded to this family in Dayton, Ohio.
But Grandpa did have a valid point, though.
He did.
He said it on the interview that David Adams had, and you could catch that interview on YouTube. They actually published a video on it. Grandpa made it known that he was the one who pulled the Superfractor. Why is all the attention going to his son and grandson? I agree, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grandpa was super cool.
Now
he
here's
said
something
it was
to
a family.
Now I want to leave both the listeners and the viewers with this. If you was in their shoes and you actually did the decision of cashing in on the $250,000 bounty, fast forward 20 years, if Drew Jones actually made the Hall of Fame, would you have regretted your decision? You don't have to answer it. It's just something to think about as we go on and we actually see how Drew Jones actually performs.
If he goes on and has a decent career, I guarantee in 20 years we talk about this. Like,
Yes.
Hey, you remember back in the day? Yeah, for sure. So congratulations again to that family. Super cool story. Really, I'll probably put a link to that YouTube video. I would definitely check it out. It was a really cool, really like what this hobby is all about kind of story that happened. So yeah. What the hobby's not about. Panini. No, I just kidding. You guys, Panini headquarters got broken into this past week. I know you guys, we're not going to beat this story to death. We know it was all over every YouTube channel, basically talking about Panini headquarters in Texas, just in case you didn't hear about it. Some people broke in, they like damaged a bunch of their computer stuff and something like that. As far as we know, like no cards or anything. I don't know about this. There was a follow-up email like a day or two later that their phone lines are down, and it's like the biggest joke.
First question was, has anybody even made human contact with somebody on the other end of the phone?
I was gonna say, have their phone lines ever worked? Like ever? Like that was what the big joke was. This is why it was so funny. Because so
there are a lot of theories going on behind this alleged robbery, though.
Yeah, and the minute I heard it, I texted Mr. Enfuego. I was like, "This is some BS. This seems like an inside job to me all day long with all the stuff that's going on with Panini, and they don't want the whole thing with Fanatics and people leaving Panini to go work at Fanatics, and they Panini suing them and blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, they're broken into now. Like, it just seems super convenient.
I kind of steered in the direction of you have a handful of individuals that have submitted redemptions years prior, haven't heard anything, so they went and got their revenge and took it out on their headquarters.
That's another possibility too. I just when I heard about this, I just rolled my eyes. I was like, really? You guys got, I just totally inside job, or it could be your theory as well, but whatever. PSA's got their new grading specials out. You guys know me and Mr. Enfuego send in submissions to PSA pretty regularly. So we keep tabs on this, and they've got a deal going on right now for your 1990s cards. Got cards from the 1990s. They are doing $15 a card, and it's a minimum of 10 cards to be submitted in that order. and they are a value of $199 per card is what the value of the card can be equaled up to. If it's higher than that, you need to put it into a different submission with PSA. So dust off your old boxes of cards and get your binders out. Look for your really sweet 1990s rookies and inserts and such, and consider getting them graded with PSA while this deal is going on.
Get that second year Griffey card.
Yeah, there you go. 2022 Top Series 2 is set to release on the 7th, June 7th. I ended up ordering just a hobby box. I watched Striker Breaks. A lot of us watch Striker Breaks. He does really good videos breaking down the product and cost per card and best deal, whatever. And I usually always get a jumbo box of whatever the flagship product comes out, Series 1, Series 2, and update, because I want that guaranteed auto. Striker was breaking it down, talking about like best odds and things being in the hobby box. So I decided to go ahead and go with that just because I'm going to save about $100. There's about $100 difference between a jumbo and a regular hobby box. And, 9 times out of 10, that auto that I do get out of jumbo isn't really that great anyway. So figure might as well save $100, go that route. So I'm looking forward to breaking some of that next week. That'll be awesome. This past week, the Bowman mega boxes came out, and the 2022 Topps Heritage came out. And I also saw stuff like Topps did this whole, the MLB Dynamic Duos came out, and they like showed a breaking it first, and then it came out on the site the next day. I was curious if anybody got in on that. I started looking up some of the cards. I guess they're kind of cool autos that you can get out of there. The base cards with duos can be good. They could be bad, but interesting. So those rips of the Bowman mega boxes that we've been watching have been not too exciting. So the Bowman mega boxes come out. They got the 2 packs that come in there with the Mojos, and with the Mojos this year, they've got veteran cards that you can get in there, and it's like, that's not what we want to do with Bowman. We want Mojos of prospects and rookies. You can open the base packs and you get a couple of Chrome cards still in that, which is kind of cool, I guess. But they've been very underwhelming in my opinion. The Mojo cards are super cool. I think I'll just go get singles if I want any of those, but I only bought 1 box of it. I'll rip it on the channel probably later this week. And I'm thinking the same. You got some of them too, Mr. Enfuego?
Just like you, I only bought 1 box of the Bowman Mega, $22 a pack. Because the base, nothing to write home about, and from all the videos that I've seen of this product being ripped, there's nothing to write home about when it comes to those Mojos neither.
Yeah,
I still think the best Bowman Megas were in 2020.
Yes, those were good, man. I had a lot of good stuff in 2020, man. So that's what we got. Oh shoot, Topps Heritage. Topps Heritage came out. Okay, I watched some rips of that, of the hobby boxes. A lot of base. They got cool image variation, stuff like that. This is a set collector kind of deal here. Topps Heritage always seems like is a good price. If you wanted to open a hobby box, do 1. I wouldn't go overboard with it. I didn't buy any hobby boxes of it. I did buy a mega box from Target. I just dropped that video today. And the Target mega boxes have the red border parallels. I think Walmart's got the hangers with the blue ones in them, things of that nature. But I got really lucky with my red border parallels. So I was excited. I'm good. I'm all set. I got good cards out of it. If I wanted any other Heritage cards, I'll buy singles of it. I do, because they do usually hold up their value. The rookie cards in Heritage, people are usually really into those cards. So
I mean,
Just
if you
something.
haven't seen a mega box of Heritage opened yet, you may want to check out that video that Adrian actually did recently drop just prior to the podcast going on.
Yeah, I got a little interesting eBay statistic on there you'll want to check out. So just throwing that out there. So yeah, well, guys, I think that's about for the podcast. What you got, Battle? You got anything else we want to end off with? Talk about anything I forget, because I always forget things.
No, we pretty much covered everything. Oh, one last thing. Right, mark your calendars. 9 to 11 July 2023 MLB Prospect Draft.
Oh, the draft. I did forget something. Yep. The MLB draft is going on during the week of the All-Star game this week. It's going to be interesting, exciting. I'm stoked.
In 2 weeks, I will go ahead and give you, unless you want to go ahead and check it out for yourselves after this, MLB's already predicted what teams what players these teams are actually going to be going for, and you'll be surprised on the first 5 teams.
Yeah, I was surprised when you were breaking that down for me. Yeah, I'm going to the All-Star game this year. I've mentioned that maybe once or twice. I'm a little excited about it. So hopefully I'll be posting something, sharing a lot of that with you guys. But you guys also check out Mr. Enfuego's latest short he just dropped. The Julio Rodriguez graded card collection is growing still.
If you like 80s cartoon theme music and rainbows, go check out that short that I did.
Yeah, you're sure to enjoy it, especially if you like rainbows. With cards, rainbows with cards. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the Baseball Junkies podcast this week. Remember, we will be off next week, but we'll be back the week after that. Thank you. Have a great weekend and watch some baseball.